Greetings, it's Ellen Rohr, and welcome to the webinar where we're going to share how to create a profitable business plan and business. I've learned a lot over my long and illustrious career, plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical contractors, all kinds of business owners, and the very best of what I've learned is going to be in this webinar today. In this webinar, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to discover the freedom that caused you to start your business in the first place. Once upon a time, you went into business for yourself. Why did you do that? What prompted you? Maybe you were motivated because the boss that you worked for was a jerk, and you thought, I can do better than this. Maybe you were laid off. Maybe there wasn't enough work. Maybe there wasn't enough money. At that point, when you started your business, there was this idea in your head, this castle in the air. The money, the freedom, the power to create what you want, to work when you want. Do you remember that day? I want you to remember that day right now. Maybe you're just considering a business of your own, wondering if you should branch out and, take that leap. Quit your job or maybe add a business to the life that you already have. If that's what you're considering, and if that's what caused you to join us today on the call, then might I encourage you to consider that vision of what you really, really want. Because for those of us who have started a business, that vision can fade. And the power of the dream can succumb, can dissolve when the day-to-day doing it takes over. If you've been in business for a while, sometimes you feel like you're on a hamster wheel. A lot of activity, but at the end of the day, for what? This business becomes not about freedom, but a ball and chain of debt, too much work for too little reward. So what's so cool about being with me right here, right now on this webinar is that we get to explore this idea. What if your business really worked? What if you made lots of money, you paid off all your debt, you had time to spend with your family doing the things that you love to do? What if you contributed your time and energy and money to worthy causes? What if you helped develop the personal, professional leadership skills of those who work with you? I believe your winning business can expand peace, prosperity, and freedom across the planet. And today, in this webinar, I challenge you to build a bright, winning business. In this webinar, I'm going to tell you how to do it. And I'm going to challenge you to do it. I'm going to take you step by step through the business planning process, through the best of what I've learned. Now, it's going to be wild and wonderful because we just have a little more than an hour together. But stick with me, get your pencils ready, get your mind open, and let's go and see how business planning can make all the difference to your success, to your lifestyle, to your freedom. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version of my story. But why I love this topic needs to be addressed. So let's start at the very beginning. When I was a kid, I went to work, got my first job at age 14, handing out cheese samples in the mall for a cheese store, and I loved it. I loved it. There was food. It was sociable, and I got paid. It was fantastic. What's not to love? I've always had a very positive feeling about work and about what work could mean in my life. I've had a lot of jobs. I've been fired a lot. I've quit a lot. I am a fence testing employee. In other words, I am one of those people who will test the boundaries. If you hired me and asked me to show up at 8 a.m. in the morning, I would show up at 8:05 just to see if you had any integrity at all. Now, I bring this up because a lot of what I've learned comes from this experience of being a fence testing employee. I'm going to see what kind of game we're going to play here. And if you don't have a good enough game, guess what? We'll be playing mine. And that's why I got fired a lot, and that's why I quit a lot. But a fence testing employee can be one of the greatest assets. That energy, that enthusiasm, that willingness to risk it all can work to your advantage. And that's one of the things I've learned in my career. Nowadays, I work as a business consultant. I've had franchising experience. I write for magazines. I'm a speaker, a teacher. I'm an author. I love what I do. It's all about expanding freedom through business. But perhaps the most significant aspect of my history is the fact that I am a plumber's wife. And you might recognize this big-haired woman right here in this picture. Oh, yeah, that's me, wife of a plumber. That's Hot Rod and our son Max. Now, Max is about 27 right now, so I'm thinking he was about 5 or 6 in that picture, so that's over 20 years ago. I do not have hair like that or mom jeans anymore. But what happened the reason why I bring up this plumber's wife experience is that with all of my job experience, I was totally ill-prepared to take over the financial reins of the company when my husband, the plumber, his partner died. His partner died at age 33, actually worked himself into a health crisis, stress-induced health crisis, and died. So Hot Rod turned to me and he said, you know what, I'm going to go get a job. This business isn't for me. And I said, no. You keep turning wrenches. I'll count the money. We'll get rich. I've got an education. I've got all this experience. I've worked for big companies. I've been a manager. All of this is true, by this point in my career. And so I said, hey, listen, why don't you turn wrenches, I'll count the money, and we will get rich. Well, the sad reality was we got broke. We had no fun, no money. We were fighting all the time. We dug a big pile of debt. And I was blessed to meet one of my greatest mentors. My greatest mentor is Frank Blau. I've had a lot of great mentors in my lifetime, but Frank is the one who taught me how to make money, who helped me put the financial piece of the business plan in place. Now, at the time, I didn't realize that that's what was happening, but he was the one who threw me a lifeline as I was drowning, and he taught me how to make more money. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Frank in just a bit when we get to that section of business planning. But for me, the path was this, that in my own business, in our own family business, the path that I took was the first thing that I addressed was the money, how to keep track of it, how to charge more than it costs, how to get out of debt. Those were the skills that Frank taught me. Thank you, dear Frank. And as a result, I had the option to turn to Hot Rod once we'd gotten a handle on these things, started to make more money, grew our company, we were starting to have some fun. I turned to Hot Rod and I said, okay, now what? What do you want to do? He was the king of the company. It's his job to decide. If you're the owner of the business, it's your job to decide, where are we going here? Why are we doing this? So he said to me, I like to work all by myself. Ouch. Now, that's a legitimate business model. But at the time, we had 4 trucks. We had a developing team. There was me. There was somebody else in the office. Ouch. What next? Let me tell you, there is no wrong answer to the question, what do you really, really want? Might I suggest it is a quintessential business planning question. What do you want? Business planning is the process by which you gain that clarity. What do you want? And then set a course of action together, put a course of action together that will lead you in that direction. Not necessarily for the end result, but for what it will make of you to attempt it. All right? And so as I worked with Hot Rod, we came to an understanding that we were going to sell the company. We sold the company to our employees. Now, that was a fantastic experience and the topic of another webinar. However, at this point, Hot Rod went and started his own business, working all by himself, and rocked it, loved it, did a great job with his own business. And I set up my shingle to become a consultant, help people figure out their asset from their elbows, help other plumbers' wives figure out the money. So this is how a bare bones biz was started. Okay, is this making sense? All right, so as Frank helped me out, as other mentors helped me out, I started to assemble my plan. And I'm going to tell you part of the journey, how I came to be an expert at business planning. It was very much a patchwork quilt of experience that I've stitched together. So bear with me as I share a little bit more of my story, and we're going to take a quick jump to the future and talk about a television program that I watched just the other night. All right, so I'm going to get back to Frank. I'm going to get back to my journey, but I want to talk to you about what business planning can be and the importance of it and how this all ties in. So as I started to learn about business, I bought the books, I went to the seminars, et cetera, and one of the guys that I really, really like is Larry Winget. Here's a picture of Larry Winget. He is a terrific business consultant. I don't agree with all of his political views. He's a little bit right-wing for me. However, when it comes to business, I think he is spot on, and we have a lot in common. He's on a television show the other day called Crowd Rules. And Larry said something that I absolutely love. The picture to the left here are 3 women, a mother and her 2 daughters, who own this company called Dirty Girls Waist Hauling. Great concept, great brand, good dirty job. I love me a dirty job. But as they were arguing that the reason why their business had to exist is because they believed in it, that this was her dream, to have a business where women could really excel and find a place in the world, Larry busted them wide open. He called the owner lazy. They had no systems. They had no plan. He said, dreams don't come true. And that really got my attention because I believe dreams do come true. He said, dreams don't come true. It takes more than a dream. It takes a plan. That is truth. That is truth. He speaketh the truth when he said that. It takes a plan. It's the dream and the plan. There's got to be some inspiration. Otherwise, why get out of bed? And then there's got to be the action that's going to move it from thought form to reality. That's the plan. Now, what was interesting in this Crowd Rules is I noticed that Larry is giving advice to this family and another business owner, and nobody's writing anything down. This drove me absolutely bonkers. Nobody's writing anything down. So, by the way, if you're listening to this webinar, I suggest you have your master to-do list out, your notebook, where you can jot down the thoughts that you need to remember because we're too old to remember things. And part of, probably the most important part of a business plan is that when you write something down, you move it from thought form to reality. All right, let's go back to my past a little bit. So as I'm, meeting Larry Winget and others, I start attending seminars. I join groups. I go to the workshops. Now, webinars weren't invented yet. The Internet was still reserved for the military. But I started to go to the seminars and read the books, and I bought the cassette binders. And I have all this stuff on my desk and on the shelf, and I would come home and go, what do I do with this thing? I have all this information, but how do I now process it and integrate it into something that I can use to make my business work? I only want this piece of what I learned at this seminar today. How do I integrate it with what I already have? I had a circus train of ideas, but no cohesive way to put all of it together. Does that make sense to you? Does that resonate with you? You go to a seminar and they say, do this Monday morning first thing, but you already have 10 things that you're doing on Monday morning. How do you incorporate this information in a way that allows you to implement it? So I learned a lot from these webinars. What was a real breakthrough for me is I went to a Stephen Covey webinar where I learned about calendaring and putting things in time as part of the overarching game plan. So the 2 systems that I adopted that started to have some effect on organizing my dream into a plan for my business was the master to-do list, writing things down in a single subject notebook, and using a calendar. Now, these tools are going to come back as we discuss the business plan process. But writing things down in one notebook as opposed to Post-its all over the place, little scraps of paper everywhere, or 16 notebooks that you keep leaving on every surface in your home or in your car. All right? Those 2 tools, a notebook and a calendar, this is what I pulled from all these webinars or all these seminars and books and sessions that I was attending as part of my personal development. Are you with me? Okay, go, go, go. This is important because I wasn't naturally organized, and those two organizational tools, my master to-do list, the calendar, started to reduce the overwhelm in my life. So Bare Bones Biz was born. I started to get a little more organized. I'm taking on clients, helping them with the financial area of their business. I'm speaking in front of groups. And another really amazing thing happened. One of the groups that I spoke to was a group of plumbing contractors, and unbeknownst to me, it was an audition to become the president of a new franchise initiative called Benjamin Franklin the Punctual Plumber. This is where I met another one of my great mentors. Now, mentors are important. We're going to talk about them throughout the business planning process. They're essential. Don't look for a perfect mentor. Look for mentors to help you with their mastery of one or two areas of life or business. Not every area. No mentor is perfect. What Jim Abrams taught me was the power of intention. Once Jim Abrams set his intention and put his plan together, it was going to happen. And that's what he taught me as we worked together. So he hired me to be the president of Benjamin Franklin the Punctual Plumber. We were going to create the world's largest home service plumbing company franchise, and the intention was to be able to sell this company for great wealth for the shareholders. That was the intention, and lo and behold, he made it happen. But when we first started, there was nothing. I went to the store and I got a book called Franchising for Dummies. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was excited because when I had worked with Hot Rod, and Hot Rod had told me that he wanted to work all by himself, the seed was born in me that wanted to know if I had the chops to build a bigger company. I didn't want to work all by myself. I liked the team. And so when this opportunity was presented to me that you could start the world's largest plumbing company, I really wanted to know if I had the chops to do it. If the simple systems that I was developing, the financial systems, the organizational systems that I was starting to get my arms around, could these systems build a big company? I'm a law of attraction girl. When you put this intention out into the universe and you take some action towards it, things are going to come your way. And lo and behold, I get this opportunity. Would you like to be president of Benjamin Franklin, the Punctual Plumber? Yes, I would. So what happened is Jim Abrams. Now, if you're going to work with an investor, by the way, an investor, a banker, they want you to put a business plan together. Great. Many of you, but you might have put a business plan together for that reason. Well, more important than the investor or the business, the banker green-lighting your business plan is the effect the business plan will have on you. However, if you're going to borrow money or if an investor is going to invest money into your company, they want to know what you're going to do with it. They want a plan. Are you with me? Nobody is going to give you $100,000, $1 million, and just say good luck to you. That ain't going to happen. So Jim Abrams said, listen, we're going to invest in this franchise. We want to know what you're going to do to make it happen, so put a business plan together. And he gave me a template, and I filled out this structure. I put this business plan together, and he reviewed it. He gave me back my business plan hardbound. In a hardbound book, my business plan came back to me as a symbol of go do it. You said you were going to do it, now do it. Heavy, right? Now, keep in mind, it was symbolic. Every business plan is flexible. I mean, as soon as the first shot is fired in battle, the plan changes. And the same with your business plan, the same with the business plan for Benjamin Franklin. But when the intention is clear, world's largest home service plumbing company, we're going to flip it to make great wealth for our shareholders. The plan then aligns with that vision, or it doesn't. A good plan is going to move you in the direction of your business, and then it's going to change once that first shot is fired. But as a result of this experience with Jim Abrams in planning, we grew that company from 0 to 47 locations across the country, $40 million in franchisee sales in under 2 years. That's how I learned the power of a plan. Now, I left that company in 2004, and I cranked up Bare Bones Biz. That's my company. And I wrote a couple of books. Where Did the Money Go? How Much Should I Charge? But what I realized is those books, that financial piece of the overarching business puzzle was only one piece. The bigger question was not how much should I charge or where did the money go. The bigger question is, what do you want? Other business planning questions are, why should this business exist? How are you going to make it happen? Who do you need to help you? Those basic journalistic questions are the ones that create the intention. I had to write this book, The Bare Bones Biz Plan, because as I was working with clients one-to-one, these bigger questions kept coming up. And without some foundation, the making money section of your business, the financial section of your business, becomes fairly hollow. What I've learned about business, what I believe, and this is my philosophy, and let me see if this resonates with you, is that there's more to business and life than making money. Making money is fun. It buys options. It allows you to continue on. It's like the air that you breathe. But it's not the reason for being. The business plan allows you to take a bigger look at your life and your purpose and the reason why a business might enhance that. Does this make sense? So this is the process that I've created. I call it the Bare Bones Biz Plan. I wrote this book several years ago, and I'm super proud of it. And in this book, I take you through the process of putting a business plan together. In this webinar, I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version. I'm going to share with you how it works. Sometimes talking to you is a little bit easier than just reading the book. This will enhance the experience if you've got the book, but this might even give you enough information for you to rock and roll with a winning business of your own. So let's get going. The Bare Bones Biz Plan vocabulary is these different areas of your business. I'm just explaining this. You know, every business guru is going to call the different areas of your business different things. One of my favorite gurus, mentors, is Michael Gerber. He wrote the book E-Myth. He calls the decision-making, vision-building segment of your business the executive area of your business. I call it setting sight. All right? So sometimes you need a little bit of language translation between one business guru and another. So setting sight is the area of your business where you talk about, you know, what do you want for your business? What's the mission? What's the vision, the overarching goal? What's the what are your goals for your business? Those are setting sight questions and exercises. And the information that you assemble in answer to those questions goes into the tab called Setting Sight. So this is my business plan, kind of glamorous. All right, and the first tab of my business plan says Setting Sight, and the exercises that help you lay claim to your vision and your mission, they're in there, and they're in my binder. The next tab is called Building the Team, and in that tab, that's where you start to answer the questions, who do I need to help me with this, right? Organizational chart goes in this tab. Position descriptions go in that tab. The Making Money section is the financial area of your business. That's where your budget goes, your financial plan. Getting it sold, sales and marketing systems go in there. Your marketing calendar goes in the Getting It Sold tab. Getting it done, that's production. How do you make good on your promises? Your top projects list goes in the Getting It Done section. And then Making Sure is the quality assurance section of your business. Now, I'm going to jump into each one of these sections in a little bit more detail, but I want to give you the overarching form of this business planning process. Now, I'm kind of old school in that I like a binder, a 3-ring binder, because it's portable. You're never going to have to struggle with technical issues. You can do this on an iPad or you can do it on your computer. This is purely up to you. But for the sake of our demonstration today, I'm going to reference this 3-ring binder. This is my business plan. I'm a big fan of you putting one together too. 3-ring binder, go all old school. In addition to that 3-ring binder, I also have my master to-do list, which is a single subject notebook. I'll be referencing that again as we talk about this. But the business plan binder is the formal document, living, breathing document that encompasses all these areas of your business. All right? Now, I believe that your business is just a vehicle to drive you in the direction of your life dreams. All right? It isn't you. You can build a business. You can sell a business. It's like a car, a vehicle, right? You can fix it. You can make it fancy. You can have a sparse vehicle. You can add another vehicle to your life. You can abandon a vehicle or a business. It's not you. It's just a thing. It's something that's going to drive you in the direction of what you really, really want in your life. The business plan allows you to sell this concept to somebody else, maybe your partner, maybe a family member, your spouse, your employees, your first employee, the banker, the investor. You could sit down with someone, you could show them your plan and say, I have this idea for a business. Let me show you what it looks like. It may not look like much yet, but this is the plan. Oh, isn't that delicious? I'm showing you how I created my plan, and hopefully you're going to take my plan, my story here and this example, and create your own plan. One of the really exciting things about the way I teach this is that if you've gone to all those webinars and seminars now, if you've got information from all kinds of different gurus, you can plug that information in the appropriate tab and have one place where this unique to you business plan is developing. And as you learn from different people, you get what you need, and you 3-hole punch it, and boom, it goes in the appropriate section in your business plan. Does this make sense? I'm hoping so. Now, I'm going to move fast. Hang on to your pencils. At the very end of our time together, I'm going to share with you more information about the Bare Bones Biz Plan and a new product that we have called the Challenge Home Edition. So hang tight. But for now, I'm going to try and give you as much information as I can about the overarching process. Fair enough? Here we go, go, go. All right, so now I'm going to take each section of the business plan, setting site, building the team, making money, getting it sold, getting it done, and making sure, and go a little bit deeper so you understand what goes into each tab of your biz plan binder, the binder itself, your business plan. All right, setting site is the area where you're going to put your mission statement, your vision statement. You know, this is the most important part of the whole plan. In fact, this first exercise is the most important exercise that you would do. Should you engage the Bare Bones Biz process, this is the most important exercise that you do. Let me tell you a story. I have taught this business planning process in a live webinar setting. We call it the Challenge. And we meet on the phone. There's usually 35, 40 of us on the phone, and we go through the business planning process together. We spend an hour on the phone once a week for 8 weeks, and everyone works through building their binders together. It is an intense program. This is the first exercise, day 1 of the Bare Bones Biz Plan, day 1 of the challenge process, and it's the assignment is to write an essay of your perfect day, a day in the life of you living the dream. What is that day like? And to write the exercise like this, I wake up with whomever you're waking up with. And the first thing I do is, and it looks like this when I open my eyes, and you use all 5 senses to bring yourself into a visceral experience of, if I were living the dream, what would it look like? And we call this the perfect day exercise, or the perfect life exercise. And when I've met with challengers in this process, we're on the webinar together, this is a deceptively difficult exercise. Because perhaps the most important part of putting your business together, putting a business plan together is making sure that it aligns with what you want out of life. And perhaps you've never asked these questions. If I were living the dream, what would it look like? What would it smell like, taste like, feel like, be like? And the perfect life exercise, if you're taking notes in your master to-do list, this exercise might be the most important thing you ever do in your life and in your business. To allow yourself to ask and answer the big questions for yourself. And in this perfect life exercise, we may find some seeds, some fodder for a business that will drive you like a vehicle in the direction of what you really, really want. Is this making sense? So this is an exercise that you can type up, write up, 3-hole punch, and put in the Setting Site tab of your binder. Now, note that when you go to share your business plan with your banker, with your investor, with a family member or an employee, etc., you can remove the perfect life exercise. The business planning model that I share is flexible in that the most important person to read this business plan is you. But the business plan itself is going to help you communicate your vision, your dream, your mission to other people. So some of the exercises that I have you do are traditional business planning exercises. I'll get to those in a moment. And some of the exercises I'm going to have you do are personal and allow you to make that movement from your life to your business in an integrated way. When I look at other business planning products on the market, and my previous business planning experiences, so powerful, neglected to have this kind of integrity, meaning integrated with my whole life, not just the business. The business doesn't exist outside of you. Make sense? All right, so the perfect life exercise is a personal exercise. In my business plan, it is the first page of the business plan, but if I were to show my business plan to a banker, I'd flip past that page, or I would remove that page before I handed that business plan to someone else. Does this make sense? Okay, so other exercises that will go in the Setting Site section of your plan, in addition to the perfect life exercise, you would also include your mission statement. Your vision statement. Your vision statement is your overarching goal. What do you want this business to be 3 to 5 years down the road? Your target market. Whom do we serve? Your unique selling proposition. What's different and better about us? Your target market is also the people who would care whether or not you do this. And the USP is your message to them. This is why I'm just the person to solve the problem that you're experiencing right now, or to satisfy the want that you have. Your goals go in the Setting Site section of your business. So these are exercises that go in that segment, that section, under that tab in your business plan. Traditional business plans require that you have a mission statement. Usually that's a standard operating, that's a standard piece of a traditional business plan. Target market, absolutely, always required in a business plan. Your goals for this year, yeah, baby, you got to lay them out in the business plan. This is what we want to have this year, next year, 3 years from now. And then the one-page summary of your overarching business plan is called the executive summary, also called a one-pager. That one-pager is also in this segment of your business plan. Now, as you work through the business planning process, you can do some or all of those exercises. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter. If you're starting to get overwhelmed, let me calm you down a minute. A bit at a time, this business plan can take form. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to sit down and start writing until your business plan is finished, because really the business plan is never finished. If you were to commit some time, 1 hour a week, 1 hour a day, 1 hour a month, 15 minutes a day, whatever you're willing to commit, any time you spend working on these exercises is time well spent. These are exercises of the highest order. They're going to have a deep resonating effect on your life and on your business. So I hope to take right off the table any issue you might have for how long this process might take. Do as much of it as you like. as fast or as slowly as you like. It doesn't matter. Just commit and go. Commit to putting a business plan together and allow it to develop without you feeling guilty or weird or odd about it, okay? All right, now the next section of your business plan is called Building the Team. The first tab was Setting Site. The second tab is Building the Team. And in the Building the Team section of your business plan, this is where your organizational chart would go. For those of you who attended our org chart webinar, it was a blast. We talked about how to put an org chart together. That exercise leads you to create a graphic representation of the reporting relationships of the positions at your company. Powerful stuff. A copy of that org chart, 3-hole punched, in this tab, the Building the Team tab in your business plan. Perfect. Your position descriptions are also here. Your recruiting and hiring procedures are in this section of your business plan. You might also put a list of your board of advisors, the mentors who are on your team. You know, I've talked about mentors already. It is so essential that even if you're going to have a business where it's just you, maybe you and one other person, you could have mentors who help you solve the problems that you're running into or embrace some opportunities that you might not have sought out. So this is also a great place for you to honor and recognize and list the advisors who are on your team. The next segment of your business plan is the Making Money section of your plan. Other business plan structures call this the financial plan or the financial segment of your business plan. I call it Making Money. That's just my language. Now, this is where I started in the business planning process. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but the need to start making money was greater than any ethereal idea of what a business plan was. That didn't even make sense to me once upon a time. But the making money portion of the business, that's the one that was really tweaking me. So it doesn't really matter where you start as you put your business plan together. This was my entry point. Later on, I asked the bigger setting site questions, but this is what I started with. As you put your business plan together in the Making Money section, here are some of the things that you're going to want to put in this section. Absolutely your financials. Your budget goes in here. I have a one-page dashboard report we call the Financial Quick Check. That would go in here. There's also information in the bare bones biz planning process for helping you get to a known financial position. We call that getting to KFP, a known financial position. If your financials are a mess, you might discover that as you're trying to assemble this piece of your business plan. If your financials are a mess, well, then you might have to clean them up. So also in my process are exercises and there's advice for helping you assemble your bean counting team. I call this the bean team. What do you need for a CPA? What do you need for a bookkeeper? How do you clean up financial messes? So there's some counsel and some advice, and then there's some exercises. Because in the game of business, you got to make money. And what I've learned about making money that's really exciting is it's not that hard. It's easy. Easy means something you can do. That's what Jim Rohn says, defines easy. Jim Rohn, another great business philosopher, defines business as something you can do. Defines the word easy, rather, as something you can do. Business is easy. And the scorecards for business are the balance sheet and the profit and loss. All right? Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper in this Making Money section just because it's my favorite section, I think. All right? The balance sheet is a list of your assets, and assets are your stuff. It's your trucks. It's your cash. It's your accounts receivable. It's the things that you have. And the game of business requires that you grow your stuff. We want more stuff to do what it is that we do. More money to make money, more things that will help us make money. Grow your assets, protect the assets. That's how you. That's essential to the game of business. Assets, according to the balance sheet, assets equals liabilities plus equity. Liabilities are what you owe. Equity is what you own. Easy peasy. So if you buy an asset with other people's money, you incur a liability. hence the equation, the balance sheet, assets equals liability. There are 3 ways to grow assets. One is to incur a liability, like I just described. You buy a truck, but you buy it with a loan. Assets go up, liabilities with that go up. Another way to increase assets is that you or an investor put money into your company. You need some cash. Cash goes up when an investor or you put money into your company. And the third and best way to grow your business is to charge more than it costs for stuff and manufacture your own money. Let me tell you that when this hit me, when I got this, Frank Blau's the one who grabbed me by the chin and taught me this, when you charge more than it costs, when sales are greater than expenses, you have a profit, and that profit is manufactured. It was not there yesterday. It's there today. You made it out of nothing by having more in value than you had in expense. And somebody said, yes, I'll take it at the price you determined. This is freedom, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you use a business to fuel so many other things in your life. All right, so the next scorecard, the balance sheet is one scorecard, and it dovetails with the profit and loss, because if this number is a positive number, if sales minus expenses equals a positive number, you've got a profit, and that profit is reflected as equity on the balance sheet, and there is a corresponding increase in assets. So this section of your business plan probably has my greatest advice in it, because I'm really good at helping you make money with the sales you have today and make more sales as we go along. Also in this section of your business plan, you're going to put your financials. I just got excited about, you know, how you get your arms around the beauty of the balance sheet and the profit and loss. Those are your main financial reports. Those are 3-hole punched current copies in your business plan at all times. You might also have what we call the financial quick check, which is a 1-page dashboard report that summarizes the main numbers of your business. This is just a sample. You would customize this for you with your chart of accounts, etc. But the basic dashboard report or financial quick check involves sales, expenses compared to budget, compared to year-to-date, a cash flow position, the few numbers in dollars and percentages that make all the difference. This can be a very powerful way for you to communicate with your team, with your spouse, with your investor, what we got going on. This is the granddaddy scorecard on 1 page, the few numbers that make all the difference to your business. 3-hole punch, updated once a week, that goes in your business plan. All right, now, the financial quick check and the information that I just described in the Making Money section of your plan requires that you put a budget together. A budget is always, always, always part of the business planning process. All right? Now, I've got great spreadsheets from Mile to Wild for putting your own business budget together, but essentially a budget is a pretend profit and loss. What do you want to spend money on? Salaries are going to be your biggest expense. The greedier you are, the more expense you have. Sales, your sales goal should be bigger than your expenses to your desired amount of profit. It's always a guess. It's always a goal. A form like this allows you to see where you are compared to where you want to be, and that's just delicious. But the budget is part of the Making Money section of your plan, the financial subset of your overarching business plan. All right, now if you go through the process of coming up with a budget, the budget will do 2 things for you. One is it will give you goals for sales and expenses. That's delicious. The second thing it'll do is help you to justify your selling price. If you want to do $1 million in sales every year and you want to work 1 day a week, or sorry, 1 day a year, and you want to make $1 million in sales, you're going to have to sell that day for $1 million. So if you sell T-shirts, you're going to have to take that top line of sales goal and divide it by T-shirts. How many T-shirts would you have to sell at what price to make $1 million? If you sell hours, plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, any service business is going to be bound by the widget of the hour. That's how you're going to come up with a selling price strategy. We could get deeper into this. I'm going to leave it here for now because here's what I know like I know. If you put a budget together and you start to imagine what you're going to have to charge per widget to make this budget work, you're going to be more expensive than the other folks in your marketplace who have not crunched any numbers. How do they do it? They go into debt. I don't know. Maybe they won the lottery. I don't know. But for those people who crunch numbers, come up with a budget, and come up with a reasonable selling price strategy, that selling price is going to be more than the other folks in your marketplace. Yep, yep. Which leads me to the getting it sold section of your business plan. Are you willing to charge what you need to charge, and can you add enough value to get to yes? In this section of the business planning process and of your business plan binder, I address marketing and sales basics. Now, there's a lot of information out there on marketing and on sales. This is a really great segment of your binder for you to take information from another guru and adopt it. So, for instance, if you're listening on the call and you've gone to a Jeff Gitomer webinar or a Tom Hopkins or Dennis Waitley or Kenny Chapman or Al Levy or Matt Smith, or there's a lot of great sales gurus out there. And if there's one who really resonates with you, then adopt that person. And they're going to have a sales system, a procedure for how to be better at sales. That if you did this on each and every call, you would have more success. You'd communicate better. You'd have less misunderstandings. You'd get to more yeses. You'd be able to communicate the value of your services and why you're more expensive than the other guys. Now, a sales trainer is a great person to have on your board of advisors. It's a great book to buy, a book on sales training. It's a great webinar or seminar to go to. But if you adopt a sales guru and their sales process, you could three-hole punch that and put it in this segment of your biz plan binder. Now, I've got great information in the Bare Bones Biz Plan about creating a sales-focused culture, overcoming your personal sales phobia, sales scorecards. Sales scorecards are terrific items to three-hole punch and put in your binder to show your investor, to show your banker, to remind yourself and the people who work with you, this is our close rate. This is how much we have for an average ticket. This is what we're doing with the sales, the reaches that come in our direction. Also in the Getting It Sold section of your business plan is going to be your marketing procedure, your marketing calendar. Marketing, the marketing subset of your business plan would go in here. Now, if you're working with J. Conrad Levinson, the guerrilla marketer, he's got a marketing calendar in his stuff. If you've done it, don't start over. Three-hole punch it and slip it into my Bare Bones Biz Plan. Does this make sense? If you don't have anything, I've got some great basic stuff for you. But the idea of this Biz Plan binder is that you can create your unique to you business plan. I'm getting goosebumps. I just love this process. Okay. All right. So let's regroup here a little bit and go through the other segments of the binder. I've got my business plan binder here just to remind you. Setting sight is the first tab, that visionary stuff, those big picture questions. The next tab is building the team. That's where your org chart goes, your board of advisors list. Then there's making money. Your financial plan goes in the making money section. There's getting it sold. This is where your sales plan, your marketing plan are going to go in that section of your biz plan binder. And now we're at getting it done. Getting it done is the rubber hits the road section of your business. This is where we morph the business plan into action. Now, this is where most business plans stop. And they turn into this thing that gets stuck on the shelf or tucked in a drawer. I did my business plan. I gave it to my investor. I gave it to my banker. And it stops there. Now, in the bare bones biz world, in my world, this business plan has to go on. It has to sprout wings. And it will ultimately morph into your operations manual. This is how we make this happen. All right? this is the moment, this is that dovetail point where we move from thought form to we're getting it done. We're moving it into reality. All right? So the getting it done section is about making good on the promises that you've made to yourself throughout this business plan, that you've made to others in marketing and sales, and now we're going to make good on our promises. So it's going to be all about getting projects done at the company and getting production done for our customers. There's good information in this section about writing procedures. As you write procedures for your company, you could three-hole punch them and put them in this section of your binder. At some point, you might want to spin off some of these procedures to separate binders which serve as operational manuals for each position on the organizational chart. Does that make sense? In the Getting It Done section, you can put your procedures as they start to flesh out until maybe the binder gets a little too fat. Then you can spin them off into their own operations manuals. Also in this section of the business plan is going to be the top projects list for your company. Okay, now we're going to go a little deeper right here. I think you're going to love this piece. In the Getting It Done section, I talk about meetings, meeting with people to get things done. Now, meetings have a bad reputation because usually your meetings suck. There's no agenda. You hate them. The people hate them. You're trying to pack too much in. There's no plan. You're winging it, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, let's start with a specific meeting. And here's I'm going to demonstrate the meeting with you. That if you were to have a meeting with just you every week for no more than an hour, 1 hour a week, this meeting could be as little as 15 minutes and still be very impactful. The meeting with you is a way for you to get things done at your company. And here are some of the tools which I reference throughout the business planning process that now come together in this section of the business plan and at this meeting with you. All right? Now, earlier in our call, I talked about the master to-do list. This picture right here, this notebook with the scribbles on it, this is my master to-do list. In fact, it's sitting right next to me on my desk as we have this webinar together. All right, and on this master to-do list, I write everything that needs to be written down, which is anything I want to remember to do. And this master to-do list is full of to-dos and projects. A project is something that has multiple to-dos in it. A to-do is a one-off task. So for instance, if I have a note here that says, go food shopping, that's not a project. I just go food shopping. It's just a reminder, all right? So I know I have to go food shopping. I might put that on my master to-do list. Or call my mother. That might go as a task, a to-do on the master to-do list. But also on the master to-do list are projects. And projects are anything that we want to get done, either now or later, but they're a little more robust. They've got multiple to-dos in them. All right? So I'm going to jot them down here. I'm going to write everything down here. And you'll notice I put a little box as a bullet in front of each task or to-do, each task or project. And that just keeps dyslexic me from getting confused on a page. All right? Now, it's messy. You're going to go through these notebooks, but everything that needs to be written down I write in one place. At the meeting with me, I have my biz plan. I have my top projects list, and off to the right is a sample of how you could create your top projects list. I have my master to-do list, which is this three-hole punch notebook right here, and then I also have my calendar. At this meeting with me, what I do is I decide which of these projects that are on my master to-do list are going to get elevated to top status. I might create a visual folder like this example right here, or I might have a dry erase board. But I can't work on every project at a time, so no more than 10 projects, and it's fine if you only have 3 or 5 projects that make top project status. All right, but if they're a top project, then what I'm vowing to do is put them on my calendar. That some time spent in my life is going to be, I'm going to commit some time in my life to moving these projects along. Now, what are examples of top projects? Well, one example of a top project might be an element of our business planning. If I haven't done a budget yet, a top project might be to put a budget together, to work with my bookkeeper, to sit down and do a budget. That's got a few moving parts to it. It's going to require some time. If I have a top project, I might even assemble a little folder, and the information about budgeting is in that folder, and it goes on the top projects list. This is one way to assemble your top projects. Okay, but then if it's a top project, I'm going to have to commit some time on this calendar. So at this meeting with me, I review my business plan. I review the top projects, the few of the things on my master to-do list that I've elevated to top project status. I look at my master to-do list, and I look at the calendar, and I plug in time on my calendar. This is absolutely huge. So I commit to time on the calendar. I usually look at the week at a glance, and I plug in the time that's going to be required. This meeting with you is, again, in the business plan itself, in the tab that says getting it done, I'm going to have a list of my top projects. And I might have some of the procedures that I'm working on. But this is a moment where the business plan should drive you to action. And that's what I'm hoping to demonstrate. Because otherwise, unless we do this, my friend, the business plan that I drag you through, you know, you can use my process, you can use somebody else's, but it's going to be on the shelf, it's going to be in the drawer, and it won't drive you in the directions of your dreams. So this, if it feels a little, what's the word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for is a big one. It's a paradox. Is that a business plan is at once focused and steady and solid, and at the same time, it's movement and action and dynamic, and it's both of those things. So the business plan is designed to help you gain clarity about your intention and then move you into action that is aligned with those dreams. Do you get that these top projects should align with your goals, with what you set forth as your mission in setting sight? That these top projects could involve other people you referenced on the organizational chart and on your board of advisors in the building the team section. And that the top projects should help you make more money, that they should align with the financial goals that you've got in the making money section of your binder. Okay, so the segments of the business plan so far: setting sight, building the team, making money, getting it sold, and getting it done. There's one more segment of the business plan. Again, this segment of my business planning process does not exist in other business planning processes. This segment of the business plan includes procedures for helping you make mistakes better, getting out of holes you've dug. Have you noticed that in business and in life you're going to screw up? That even with the best laid plan, you're going to blow it with a customer. You're going to blow it with an investor. You're going to blow it with a relationship with one of your employees. How do you get back on track again? You're going to blow it and have a person on Facebook tell the world how terrible you are. You're going to have a watchdog reporter put on the news some embarrassing snippet of a video clip that you might have to recover from. In the making sure segment of the business plan, this is where you put your customer recovery process. This is where you put your apology process. This is how you communicate to your team, to your investors, that when we make it a mistake, we're going to make it right. This is a short section of your business plan, but I feel it's an important one, and it's one that most business plans don't address. Also in this segment of the business planning process, there are exercises for causing you to reflect and make sure that this business is still working for you. The business planning process is cyclical. The Making Sure segment of the business plan will send you back to the Setting Sights section of your plan and say, does this business still work for you? Are you on the right track? Is it working for your customers? Is it working for your employees and your vendors? Do you need to make some adjustments? If so, go back through the plan again, revise, review. Some of you who are listening to this call have already gone through the business planning process. I'm glad you're here today because this is a reminder to just dust off the good work that you've already got and enhance it. Once you put anything together for a business plan, it's so much easier to revise, refine, revamp, and it allow yourself to be re-energized by the business planning process. Okay, that's the content of our webinar today. And I want to go all metaphysical on you here a little bit. I believe that your small business is no small thing. Business and small and business, that's an oxymoron. Any business can change the world. Any person with intention and a plan can move an idea into physical form. That is the creative process, and perhaps that's what we're here for. And if you create in a powerful, positive way, you can change the world. A few of my favorite entrepreneurs I've listed here, Jack Stack, Colonel Sanders, Mary Kay, all three of them have extraordinary stories. Jack Stack wrote a book called The Great Game of Business. And his story is all about energizing the people he worked with, his co-workers, and laying claim to the fact that they could help them change the world and change their personal fortunes if he got them in on the game. He's had a huge resonating effect on my business philosophy, and you will see a lot of evidence of Jack Stack's philosophy in the Making Money section of the business plan. Colonel Sanders, at age 65, took his first Social Security check and used it to start up his first business, a restaurant. And you know what? It failed. And that's when he went door to door selling his recipe for 11 herbs and spices because he'd already blown it once. Colonel Sanders inspires me to try again. You may have a winning business plan. You might have to revamp it a couple of times until you start to have a profitable business. It doesn't matter. If you have a dream, ink it. Think it and ink it, as Mark Victor Hansen says, and make something happen. Honor it. Change it, but don't give up. And then Mary Kay Ash used to work for somebody else until they were rotten to her, until they promoted the guy she trained to be her boss. And she wrote her superiors, her bosses, a nasty letter telling them everything that was wrong about that and wrong with the business. And she finally said to herself, I could mail this letter, and I could feel crappy about it, or I could take this letter and create a business. Point by point in this letter, I could create a business that doesn't do the things that I'm railing on my previous employer about. And she created Mary Kay Cosmetics. And the primary thing that she did was to celebrate and honor every win, to recognize a good effort, to recognize any success, any achievement, because she knew that that confidence would build. And that reminds me to honor and recognize you. If you're here today, congratulations. If you've started a business plan, God bless you. If you're revamping your business plan, oh, good for you. Yes, yes, yes. If you're thinking of taking your pencil to your master to-do list for the first time ever, you're on your way. Because now you've moved thought form to physical form just by writing anything down. Write, I intend, and fill in the blank, and you are on your way with a business plan of your own. My business plan works best when it becomes your business plan. All right? In the time that I've had today, and we're going to be wrapping things up shortly, in the time that I've had today, my overarching intention was to help you get your arms around the process. For you, it might have been a review. Great, get back to it. But maybe it's time for you to commit to the process for the first time. Hopefully our time together has been inspiring and encouraging. Business planning can help you reduce overwhelm. When you organize your time, When you organize your thoughts, it reduces overwhelm. When you share your business plan binder with others, when you flip through each page, each section, you can get others to buy in. It may not look like much now, but let me show you my plan. You can systematically incorporate the good advice you've been given, paid for at webinars and seminars, learned from books, and you can create your own unique to you plan for the perfect life and the ideal business. Isn't this delicious? All right, well, I promised that I would give you some steps for how you can create your own plan, and I don't want to leave you hanging. If you need a little more help, I have a rockin' good product that I want to share with you today. In the past, I mentioned I'd offered a program called The Challenge. It's an 8-week program. We meet in live, real time. It's intense. The curriculum for that challenge is this green book here called the Bare Bones Biz Plan. That is a 6-week, day-by-day process for putting your business plan together. Spoiler alert, it doesn't matter if you take 6 weeks or a year or a weekend. Whatever your time frame is, it's just fine. The layout of the book is it takes 1 week worth of exercises for each of the 6 sections of the business plan. And when we did the challenge in the webinar setting, we did it that way. 1 week at a time, we focused on each section of the plan. And it is an intense process to do it that way. I may do it again in the future. And I am super grateful to the folks who participated in it, particularly the last round. We've done it 8 times so far. And in the last round of the challenge, we recorded the webinars. There are 8 webinars that we recorded. There's a kickoff webinar. There's a webinar devoted to each of the 6 sections of the business plan. And then there's a wrap-up celebration webinar where we refine business plans. And throughout the webinar, we've got live participation from challengers. It's interactive. It's really fun. I demonstrate on the screen the forms that are essential, the exercises that are optional, and help you get your arms around the business planning process and help you develop your own business plan. Now, at early bird pricing for the live webinars, I charge $1,299 for this program. I recorded this program because I'm getting busy. And the commitment to do one of these challenge programs is the opportunity for me to do it is dwindling. And I recorded it because I wanted to create a product at a no-brainer price point that would allow you to work on the business plan as a home study course. It's the home edition. You can work on it on your time, in your office, at your house. And the product is $99 plus $6 for shipping. I'll send it to you for shipping. So this was my intention, is I wanted to make it as easy as I could to make this product available to as many people as possible. So here is the link to, let me show you the website page. You can see on the screen if you go to this page, and we're going to make this link available to you with the recording so you can get right there. But at barebonesbiz.com/challenge-home edition, the challenge, here you go. That's the link, but it's also in the email that we sent that gives you access to this recording. You're going to come to this page, and I want to use this page to show you the product. You can read through it at your own pace and take a look. I'm going to scan through it fairly quickly. But this is what's available now as a home study course, $99 plus $6. And I've also got a bonus for the first 50 people who sign up for this product too, so hang tight. All right, so let me just get my notes organized on my screen. Okay, so here is the Challenge Home Edition, and this is what you get. You're going to get the book. You're going to get the webinars on a DVD drive that you put into your computer. You're also going to get an audio version of the book. This slips into your vehicle, so you can listen to it, or you can download it on your computer, put it on your iPod. You can listen to it as you work out. This is the business planning process in multimedia form. You're also going to get a website that has all the forms that you're going to need to put together your business plan and create your own biz plan binder, all the forms and then some. So in addition to these physical products that you see here, you're going to get access to a private website that's going to allow you to access the downloadable forms. And the process will take you through the bare bones biz planning process as we've described. Any work you do on your business plan is going to have immediate, positive, resonating results for you. Think about what you want, clarify your intention, and you will manifest opportunity to you. Law of attraction, absolutely. And when you add the element of taking action on your dreams, this stuff comes together really, really fast. Now, when you work through this business plan, you can do it all by yourself, or like my pal Mary did here, Mary Ardapple at Apple's Bakery, she involved her whole team in the process. Super powerful, very bonding experience for everyone, and she's a smart chick because her team members solve all her problems for you. How cool is that? So you or any of your team members have access to the information. All right, so we start with the bare bones biz plan. That is the workbook. You work through the DVDs at your time, at your leisure. You can sit down with your spouse, perhaps. This is Bill and Kathy Smithmeyer, who had a really neat experience getting the husband and wife team on the same page. Oh, Kathy, honey, as the wife of a plumber, you and I relate to each other. Here's the audio version of the book, and then there's the website that's going to have recordings of the webinar, so you get them there and on the DVD disc. But then all the downloadable forms will be available to you. But with no pressure and no timeline issue, you get to work through it. My encouragement is you do commit. Put time on your calendar to work through the process. If you do, you'll get the results. If you don't, you won't, and you know that's true. All right? So you will also get, as a bonus, you're going to get a copy of the video called Is There a Business in You? Now, this is for the first 50 who sign up as a result of this webinar program. So if you're listening to the recording, get going, because we've already had the live webinar, and people have ordered. Thank you very much. So move fast if you want to get a copy of the Is There a Business in You DVD. That's going to go out to the first 50 people who purchase this product. And this is a neat bonus. It's a DVD of a PBS show that I did once upon a time for Ozarks Public Television, and it also explains in a television show what this business planning process is. You know what? It's also a really appropriate graduation gift or gift for a young person who's starting out and getting their business going. So the whole program is $99, $6 for shipping and handling, and you get everything that you see here. So let me leave you with this. If you don't like it, if you buy it and you don't like it, if you buy it and you don't use it, I'll give you your money back. You don't even have to return the product. You can give it to someone who might appreciate it. I only want to work with folks who this is a good fit for. And if my voice resonates with you, if my process, appeals to you, terrific. We're off to the races. But if for any reason you make the commitment and you decide it's not for you, you let me know and I'm going to give you all your money back. No small print, no asterisk, nothing. It's just I am too old and too rich to waste time fussing about little things like whether or not to give you your money back. I'm just going to do it. Fair enough? All right. I wish you love, peace, and money, the freedom that caused you to start a business of your own in the first place. I hope you take me up on my offer, $99 for the Biz Plan Challenge Home Edition, and if you're one of the first 50, you get that DVD too. And in any event, may this experience of watching this webinar, spending time with me, be of service to you. Love, love, love.